All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, people. Welcome to Ronin Rants, Spaces series. Hope this is hope everybody is doing well. Oh, so today I'm going to be talking about the Apothecary Diaries. I just uh, freaking binged through the first 24 episodes on Hulu. I did all dub because gotta do dub uh, for reasons. But in any case, that's what I'm basing my opinion on. That's what I'm going over. That's what I am talking about. I'm not talking about light novels, manga, subs, whatever. It is literally just how I experienced it through the dub. And I gotta say, I do not get it. Like, uh, people are kind of like putting this anime on like high praising this anime. I mean, heck, I just seen a post yesterday that it is in. I think it's in Crunchyroll's one of the 5 anime for Crunchyroll's pick of anime of the year. And that's putting it next to Fury and Kaiju number 8, Don Da Don, stuff like that. There was one more. I can't remember what it is. And I really don't think it belongs there. Like, there was a lot of ways I thought about talking about this anime. I thought about doing a review of the series so many different ways of what I've thought or thought of how to present what I think about it. Still might do one of those, but right now this is just this whole little spaces area is basically just to allow me to cook, to allow me to get these initial ideas out there. I'm not saying I'm not going to go back to this subject, but right now right now I don't know. Like, I don't know about this anime because so I don't think there's anything special about it. First, like, does it pass the first 3 episodes test? Kinda. I feel it takes that 4th episode for you to really want to continue to watch it because you finally get to see our MC Maomao, our MC Maomao, uh, do something that's a little outside of, like, it has a little bit of character building when she actually kind of gets upset that there's a lady in waiting who allows her lady to get sick all for the sake of beauty. Something that we found out a few episodes back. And I don't know, it's like when I watch this anime, I don't see any depth to it. I don't see what they're really going for because initially Mao Mao is kind of put in this place that her skill is being a apothecary or a medicine maker, or, somebody like that. But she has an affinity for poisons, which is all fine and stuff. But it's like outside of maybe a handful of episodes in the entirety of the 24 episodes for the first season, you don't really see her using that skill all that much. Even the job that she gets given to get out of common servitude is is taken away from her or taken away out of the episode in favor of these Detective Conan crime style episodes where it's more that she is this sleuth detective solving crimes, and it doesn't like a lot of it doesn't even pertain to using poisons or any of the what you would think an apothecary would have specialization in. And it's like the writer, the mangaka who created this, like, they had this cool kind of concept for her but then they abandon it in order for a a more uh, how to say a more intellectual character, I guess, which you could have shown that with her just like being an apothecary and her doing the using her skill, the skill that we were introduced to earlier on, but she doesn't get to keep that. Well, I say she doesn't get to keep that skill. She uses it because I mean that is her passion. But then she also goes and she has so much knowledge about other other areas, like the whole the idea of diabetes. I'm getting ahead of myself. But there's a point to where she solves a crime using combustible powders, which no one even knew about. Combustible powders is a very modern thing that we learned, and even in the context of the show, it wouldn't work. The building wouldn't have enough powder to actually do the combustion. Like it is very much over exaggerated, and I do get this as an anime, but still the exaggeration of combustible powders is so kind of silly to me in this. But yeah, so a Maomao is kind of like this how to say infallible figure. Think Ray Skywalker. Where it's like, oh, I'm I'm a Jedi. I can fight better than Kylo Ren, who was trained by uh, freaking Luke. I can fly a ship better than Han. I can do everything better than everyone else in the story, and there is no equal to me. And that's how I see Maomao, is that there is not another character that they have presented within the first 24 episodes, which I don't think I'm going to watch the second season. I mean, maybe if I'm just got nothing else better to do. But there is not a foil to Maomao. There is no one there that is her equal. Even the main MC guy that everybody lusts over, and she's like, "Oh no, you're not cute enough for me, or you're not like you don't interest me." It He is not even on her level. Not that they've shown. Like they give a few hints that he might be, but it always turns out like the way that the story is written, it always turns out that he is just not. He is not on her level. Like he is not incompetent like a lot of the other people, but he is not like Maomao is just on this next level of intellect. And they're like I say they've not had a foil to her, but there have been two characters. So there's been her father, well, her adopted father, that taught her everything, and she has great respect for him. But he has so little to do with the story that he might as well not even be counted as a character. Like it almost doesn't make sense why they even bothered to introduce him in the first place, even though that they have, I believe they are hinting at that he is creating some kind of plots to take down the royalty. But that's just me. But I have a real problem with him because so I'm going to back up and backtrack here a little bit. At the beginning of the anime, Maomao is captured and sold off to the palace. Not a problem. It's a period piece. It is what it is. But she's sold off basically into slavery, and she spends over 10 months at this palace. 10 months. And I guess I'll get into another thing that I have a problem with her character. She spends 10 months there, and granted, at the beginning, I don't think she could have sent out anything to let her father know that she was okay. But it takes almost a year for her to even mention her father. Like the episode before she mentions going to see her father, I was thinking that, man, if they don't even talk about her father, then what? Like it's not going to make a lot of sense. And then she's like, "Oh, I wonder how Dad's doing," and then stuff just happens that makes her able to go and see her father. But the thing about that is it took 10 months, and over the course of that 10 months, like I said, at the first, yes, I get that she couldn't have found a way to contact him, but when she started gaining favor with the main guy and the lady, the concubine that she was under, she gained so much respect from all of them. The fact that she couldn't ask to send a single letter to let her father know that she was okay, I don't know. That just seems, maybe I'm looking too deep into it. Maybe I'm thinking too much about it. But it just seems like, oh, you could have at least made it seem like she cared about him, and that, it's instances like that that I think that it just doesn't make any sense why, when she talks about him and when she has such supposed deep respect for him, that she couldn't think of a way to talk to him or to send him a letter to let him know that he was fine. And then on top of that, when they do finally meet up again after about a year, he's just like literally the words to her are, "Oh, you're back. You've been gone a while." And it's like, I have more emotion about that happening than he had when seeing her. And I'm just like, what the heck? Your daughter, man, has been missing for almost a year, and you think nothing of it. I get, at the beginning he told her that, hey, be careful, there's a lot of kidnappings going on, and she was like, oh, I'll be fine. And she thinks nothing about being kidnapped. He thinks nothing about searching for her. It's so, I don't know. Maybe it is just one of those things that it's either trying to be so true to that period of time, or maybe it's like, oh, well, let's just skip over that because we have other things that we want to talk about. And the manga kid just didn't think about putting that much effort into it. I don't know. It's as a father myself, I couldn't imagine my kid being missing for that long and not knowing what happened. Yes, I would have my suspects, but until I knew, I don't think. And it's like when you see him, it's like he hasn't skipped a beat. Like, she went up missing, and he doesn't care. This was all supposed to be about how there's two people who are kind of Maomao's equal. One being her father, which that was her adopted father, and the other being her actual father, which we'll try not to do too much spoilers, but if it happens, it happens. But her actual father, who they set it up that he is this deep thinker, strategist, and everybody's kind of afraid of him. Like, they call him an expert strategist, weirdo guy. which is understandable. But they set it up that this guy is supposed to have done something very horrible in Maomao's past, either to Maomao or to someone that Maomao knows. And like there is a scene that plays out of that, like she had like this deathly glare that she sent to the main guy MC. And he's like, I've never seen that look on her before, and I never want to see it again. And you're thinking, man, this guy is a complete bastard. And they very much put it that way because because they show her mother kind of in a catatonic state at one point, but they don't explain what happened. So it's left to you to assume that the dad did something, because I think it was either the episode before that or the episode after that. He tells the main guy MC that there's a way to lower a courtesan's price, and basically to go ask Maomao. And so it leaves us all to thinking, what did he do to her? Why didn't he buy her? Why isn't Maomao living with him? There are all these questions, which I'm happy that get answered, but it's almost like you get an unsatisfying result for what happened. Like, I wanted the guy to be a bastard, and he just doesn't end up being that type of character. He just, product of the times, he was sent off to war, and he didn't get to be the father that apparently he wanted to be. And even right after we get all this big reveal, we get Maomao even says that, oh, well, I never really hated him, and blah 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 this. And I'm just like, what in the world? This fucking sucks. That was the biggest lead up that we were getting, and we have a very stupid payoff. Because all things, all points intended, there is a payoff to it. It's just for me, it's a very unsatisfying payoff, and I couldn't believe that that's how they chose to go with that. Seriously. But like I said, there's so much stuff going on, but there is Maomao's character is all over the place. She's this brilliant apothecary. She has these affinity for poisons that nobody else does. She's more intelligent than everyone else. There's just so much that she can do, and it's so Maomao can do no wrong. There is nothing about Maomao that would lead me to believe that in the future, because of the way the writing has been, that there is ever going to be an opposition. Even the overarching case that takes place throughout the anime doesn't get fully solved, because it's the plan gets executed, but now we got to figure out who is responsible for setting all this up. It was a year-long plan that there is no one to blame or capture. And in the end, I don't think the mangaka knew what they wanted to do with Maomao, because her character is, like I said, just all over the place. She's knowing things that I really don't think she should know. using the setting of an older time, but putting newer elements, newer technology, I should say, within the story, and it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me when a lot of that stuff doesn't get discovered till much later. Like maybe if it was put into a more modern setting, but then you couldn't have the whole, Maomao being sold off for indentured servitude and all that other stuff. The cortisone thing wouldn't make a lot of sense. But I mean, yeah, I think a good writer could overcome any of this. But and I keep saying that I don't think the writing is. I don't think the writing is good. The writing, the plot structure, it just something about it just really gets under my skin, and I don't get why people are even why nobody else is really talking about it. And maybe I'm just completely being a freaking hater about all this stuff. But even there is so little animation. Like again, people hated on Blue Lock for having bad animation, having still frames. Apothecary Diaries is really no different, other than that the still frames just look a lot prettier. Like there's so little animation that goes on inside of Apothecary Diaries. Like I can't even point, I can't think or point to one instance where there was a piece of animation that blew me away. Maybe the very end where she does her little dance on the castle walls. That was pretty impressive. But other than that, I can't think of anything. And then there's the dealing with the opening. Like I've felt for a long time that openings should get you ready or start the mood for what the show is about to be, or the tone of the show. And the first half, the first 12 episodes, is kind of more of a rock song, and I don't think it really fits what Apothecary Diaries is going for. And then the back half of it, the last 12 episodes, is I feel they really fix that, because it becomes a much more slow song, a much more not ballad, haunting song, which I think fit way better. But yeah, I don't know. Like I don't know. I don't think Apothecary Diaries deserves to be up there with like good animes like Kaiju number 8, which Kaiju number 8 I know is not going to win any season or anime of the year. I mean, it's solid, but it's not. It's not on the level of a Frieren. It's not on the level of a Don to Don. That I think those two. I think really, if we're talking who's going to be the anime of the year, those are the two that should have the talk, because Don to Don was very good, and I think people were talking about it every episode. Like every episode, I believe Don to Don was getting talked about. But then you have Frieren that, after the first half, it just I don't feel it was as interesting as the first. Like the second half wasn't as interesting as the first half, because it kind of just becomes this. Oh well, that's completely stop anything interesting. But I'm getting completely off topic. But anyways, those are the two that I would say have more of a hope of becoming anime of the year than Apothecary Diaries or should. Like I said, I don't. I'm not seeing, and this wasn't just a rant about why Apothecary Diaries is in an anime of the year discussion. It really has nothing to do with that, because anime of the year doesn't really matter. It's just a talking point. But Apothecary Diaries just it's an all right show. I think it's a good, like, you can waste some time watching it, but it's not like the plot, the story, the characters, like everyone's just everywhere in it, and there's just so much that doesn't make a lot of sense. Like even I forgot to bring I'll bring it up now. There's a point to where, and I think it was during the combustible explosion case that they literally come to Maomao first to ask her opinion. Like it's like these older men or these men in positions or even the women, it's like no one can figure out anything for themselves, that they have to go to this apothecary that is very apathetic about really solving any of it. But it would have made more sense, instead of making her an apothecary, making her somebody who really enjoys puzzles. And that would have worked, I think, a lot better, instead of having her have a skill that you don't really get to see her use. Sure, at points, it plays a role, but overall, it's just it's a wasted skill and a wasted reason to even name it the Apothecary Diaries, because one, she doesn't really do much apothecaring, and two, where's the diary? And now I'm just being super petty and stuff like that, but I'm being a little too critical. A name's a name, but it just I don't know. Like the show doesn't make a lot of sense to me, and I don't really, I don't, I don't get. I guess I don't get why it's getting such high praise, because I don't see it. Are the stills pretty? Yes. Are some of the cases interesting? They're okay. Like there have been ones done in Detective Conan that are way more interesting. Like just break up like those 4 episodes of a case, and you'll have like fun watch. But in any case, it's that's my thoughts on the first 24 episodes. Granted, I'm still thinking on it. Like these are just these are just vocal notes for me to get my ideas out there and to see what everybody else is thinking, and correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, maybe I get a better idea, but yeah, that's gonna do it for that. How do you even say it? Oh, there it is.